Which one do you want to talk about first?
Starbucks.
Oh, we gotta talk about the Starbucks because that was a highlight.
It was good times.
It was really good
Peak
time.
Starbucks. That's
To my right, about 15 feet away, his shoulders were every bit of 4 foot wide. When I turned my headlamp, I turned my headlamp on as I turned, and as I turned,
Way to go, Pax! We got our own show. Hey! Oh yeah! Hey, welcome to the Animal Show. We can do whatever we want.
Well, that's right, Jim. We're about to get down and crazy on the Animal Podcast.
We are not alone in this world. We are being watched. Join me on Animal Paranormal Live.
Hey, this is the ghost host Sophia Temprelli, and you are watching the Animal Podcast Show.
Hey, welcome on Animal Paranormal Live. I am your host, Josh. AKA the Animal. Sorry, I've been sick for the past week, and my whole family's sick. So please forgive me for my voice sounding a little weird. But I do want to go out to call out my friends Banter, the Bigfoot guy, and Rojo. Kind of want to, stare toward them a little bit and kind of, I don't know, man. Was watching them a little bit, and they were kind of thinking they're wrestlers in tights or something like that. I don't know, but check them out. The Banter and Rojo. They were just on a little bit ago on the Get Haunted Network. And I want to thank those guys so much. They were on my show just a bit ago, about a week ago. Say a bit ago. My brain's all there. So, but anyways, I got a really good guest on tonight, and I'm really thankful for him to be on my show. Kind of last minute, and I really appreciate my good friend Russ Stiver. What's up, brother?
What's going on, my friend? Thank you so much for having me on.
Good, man. How's it been?
Oh, crazy. I mean, we're, like I said, I'm a store manager for Spirit Halloween. We're gearing up, and for everybody out there, yes, we do open this early. We open at the beginning of August.
That's awesome. Man, Spirit Halloween, man. I can't believe we're already talking about that. What is this? We're in July, right?
We're July 20th right now. My store is set to open August 2nd.
Man,
so literally 12 days from now.
This year is going by so freaking fast. I can't believe it. It's like summer just happened. My kids got out of school. They're all excited. And all of a sudden now, like, I went to Target, and all of a sudden it was like a time warp. And freaking school supplies are freaking.
You got back to school things out. You got, I give it till at least the first week in September, and you'll have Christmas stuff out already.
Yeah. Oh, Nicole Stiver, this is Russ just commenting from my wife's account.
That's me. Because I'm logged into my wife's Facebook or her YouTube account, so that's how I can comment in the chat.
That's awesome. Hey, Damien, how's it going, buddy? Again, thank you.
I gotta give a shout out to my boy Damien.
Yeah,
he legit gets up every morning and listens to Get Haunted faithfully, and really appreciate him.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Damien. Tonight, is it a different time zone? Because he said morning.
It's I believe he's 8 hours ahead. He's in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Oh man, that's awesome.
He's 8 hours ahead right now, so that puts him at roughly 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh wow. And that's 8 o'clock here. So yeah, wow, man. I already feel tired already.
I know, right? Just talking to him, I feel tired. Oh, it's 1 a.m.
Oh,
okay,
it's
sorry.
1 a.m.
Okay.
Oh man, I should be in bed right now. I think
go
it's
to bed,
time to
Damien.
Go to bed. Go to bed now. But anyways, man, tell me more about Spirit Halloween and how you, before we get all about you, since you got me hooked on Spirit Halloween, because Halloween's one of the biggest time of the years for us.
It is a lifestyle. It's not a season. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it's definitely a lifestyle. But definitely tell us about all your amazing things that you do for the company and what it's all about.
You know, I don't normally take pride in myself too often. I started with the company as an assistant manager 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, I started with the company as assistant manager 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I went into it thinking, you know, it's just going to be a normal retail job. I worked, you know, I worked for Blockbuster for 8 years as a store manager. I worked for, I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of echo back from you over on your side.
Yeah, there's something going on.
I'm sorry. No, it's like I'm just hearing myself talk in the background. That's me. I'm sorry.
It's all right, dude.
No, so like, you know, I worked for Blockbuster for 8 years. You know, I worked at a major movie theater for 5 years as an assistant manager. So I figured, you know, I had moved up to Massachusetts about 8 years ago. I was doing midnights, doing Home Depot, like doing the resets of all the builds and things like that. And I did that for a couple years, but I came down with some health problems and things like that. But I found something that actually kind of suited me a little bit.
Yeah.
And they hired me immediately as an assistant store manager. And the first year I was there, my store manager I had to be pulled to become a district manager because our district manager we had for our district actually got fired. So I kind of like impromptu store manager at that point. So I kind of learned everything and, you know, went through everything. So last year I came back to the company and they offered me a store manager position right off the bat and I took it. This year I came back as a store manager, and next year, this is actually, and I will say this, and it sucks, but this year is actually my last year with my store because they are actually bumping me to a district manager next year.
Oh, wow.
So I'll be under the control of 3 stores instead of just 1.
Yeah.
Big moves for me. I mean, I really appreciate the faith they see in me. Last year, we ended up out of 27 stores, we ended up second in our area for sales. For our Spirit of Children, our charity that we do, which if anybody out there doesn't know what Spirit of Children is, if you haven't gone to Spirit Halloween, Spirit Halloween partners with local hospitals, children's hospitals all around the country.
Yeah.
And they actually raise funds for these children that are in the hospitals to buy them, you know, iPads, tablets, you know, put on costume parties for them, you know, supply all these things. So I can say last year that just between 156 partnerships that we have with local hospitals all across the country, we raised $17.2 million.
Holy.
And that goes directly back to every hospital that we donate to.
That's so
incredible. That is a big thing for us. So please, if you go to a Spirit Halloween and they ask you to donate to Spirit of Children, please do not get upset. You know, I get it. Everybody, you know, gets annoyed with the, you know, do you want to round up? Do you want to do this? Do you want to donate to that? I get it. But this actually goes to a very, very good cause.
Yeah.
And it's something very near and dear to my heart because one of the things that I'm doing is next Saturday at the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. There is a young lady, Shaylee Clace, who is the daughter of Dan Clace, who is the owner of the Hinsdale House in New York. And there's my fearless co-host, Jenny Davis, over there.
Hey, what's up?
Jenny.
Johnny.
She's stuck in a van right now, driving across multiple states. So she has nothing else to do.
Down by the river.
But what I am doing a celebrity bartending event on Saturday night with a good friend of mine, Wes Coleman. I am not the driving force, Jenny. You and I both do it together. Don't try to give me credit. Don't blow smoke up my ass. You know, just leave it where it lays. All right.
But that's awesome.
anyways, but thank you. I appreciate that, Jenny. I raised my cup to you. But on Saturday night, Wes Coleman and myself, we're actually going up against celebrity bartenders. We will not be bartending ourselves. We'll just be like carnival barkers trying to call people in to tip us. So we are going up against Santiago Cirillo, who has been on The Walking Dead. He is founded Haya Nation. He does a lot with. No, I smoke, Jenny. I'll blow smoke up your ass. You don't do anything like that. So, but he's going to be one of the bartenders. We have Brian and Rochelle from Ghost Hunters.
Okay,
will be two of the bartenders.
That's awesome.
We have, I believe, Dave Schrader is one of the bartenders. Oh. We also have the West Virginia Batman.
Okay, Batman.
Bartending, and then Wes and I will be bartending. So Wes and I agreed.
That's awesome.
At the end of the bartending event, regardless of how much we've raised, him and I are both going to shave our heads at the end of the event, because all the money of the tips collected from that bartending event are going right to Dan and Shaylee.
Yeah.
For her fight against cancer. So I actually put it out. I did a podcast about a week ago. And I said, for a price, I would shave my beard. And if anybody knows me, my beard is like kind of my iconic thing. Like no one's ever really seen me without a beard.
Yep.
But I said for $2,000, I will do it in front of everybody. I'll have somebody shave my beard for me in front of everybody.
Wow.
I've already been assured by Miss Jenny Davis and Miss Bonnie Gurney in there that it's going to happen. Yes, he actually has a road legal Batmobile.
Oh man, that'd be freaking awesome.
Josh, next year, I'm telling you, you need to make it up to Gettysburg next year. That definitely a great event to go to.
Well, speaking of, because I know you were talking about Dan Class.
Yep.
And man, the things that Dan's going through right now. I couldn't imagine because that's your child, and my heart goes to him. And Dan, if you hear this, man, we love you guys. We're praying for you, and we're here for you. The whole community is here for you, praying for you, brother. So just let you know that if you're listening tonight to the show, or maybe if you listen it to later, but brother, we love you.
Jenny, go ahead and take Dan in this because I know you're listening. But Bonnie, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure we're going to hit the 2,000 mark because the bartending event is from 9 to 10:30.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to hit that 2,000 mark by at least 9:45. I can guarantee it. But you know what? It's one of those things that I'm doing it out of the kindness of my heart. I wouldn't have. When Wes brought me that idea, I was like, I'm done. I'm in.
Yeah.
No, not even a second guess, not even anything. I'm like, I'm in. I used to shave my head all the time when I did football and baseball in high school and everything. So I'm like, I'm that's not even a second thought to me.
I promise that beard will be gone.
Oh, she's gonna rally people together. I can guarantee you.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
The whole event's gonna be amazing. I couldn't imagine just so many
really
great people.
I mean, this year we have 160 vendors. We have, the likes of, John Zaff is coming, Dave Schrader coming. Aaron Segers was supposed to be there this year, but he had to cancel because of filming obligations.
Yeah.
But we have everybody from, I'm trying to remember the list of the board right now, but we just added Daryl Marston and Mustafa Galeri from Ghost Hunters. So
oh wow,
you're gonna have
Mustafa.
You're gonna have pretty much a Ghost Hunters reunion with like Mustafa, Daryl, Brian, Rochelle. The only one you're missing is Brandon Alvis, and Grant Wilson, of course, but John Zaffis was the big one this year that they were pulling in, and I love Uncle Johnny to death. He's only literally 2 hours away from me. So I've been yelled at. I have to call him Uncle Johnny. But it is definitely a great event. So so next time, everybody, when you see me next time, next Sunday, next Monday, everything's gonna be gone. Jenny, I'm pretty sure Mustafa is coming, and I know Jenny has every book known that's been written. So,
if you could resurrect one dead celebrity to join, who would it be?
Robin Williams.
Yeah, I would have to say Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
Shane Pittman, Josh Purvis,
Shane Pittman,
Brian
Purvis,
Murray.
Brian Murray. Yep. They're all going to be there from Searchers. There are a lot. Bob Christopher, Gina Benston, John Ruggiero, and his girlfriend from New Jersey Perry Unity are going to be in there. So many great people coming in. I mean, we have the great Keith Bailey and Kelly Miller coming in. That's awesome, it's definitely going to be a great time. So it's definitely an event you don't want to miss. This is my one vacation every year that I take. So, but we already spent 20 minutes talking about this. So let's get into the show, brother. What do we got going on here?
Oh no, not much, man. Just
I'm like obsessed with your microphone ring light going on over there. I love that.
Yeah, it's cool. It's pretty it's pretty neat.
I mean, I just have your standard like. It does its job though. So.
Oh man, whatever it works, man. Let's see what we got, dude. Where's Banter? Why is he not on?
I know. Where's Richie B at?
He's in trouble. Here we go. Wojo's
There's
here. Wojo. He's on he's here.
Wojo, I know you couldn't see my comments earlier, but I'm getting your shirts from Jenny next Thursday. So I will bring them back to Massachusetts with me, and you will have them, sir.
That's awesome. But anyways, man, just talking about the whole the event that's going to happen. It's going to be awesome, and a lot of
there are very few events that impact people that greatly, and I can tell you what, I've been to a few in my life.
My gazillion dice.
It is like I'm staring at it, and I'm just like,
It's like just fall for the animal.
But from ones that I've heard, like I've never been to New Jersey Perry Unity. I heard John and Chris put on an amazing event out there. I've never been to Pennhurst Paracon. Bob and Gina and all that staff out of Pennhurst, they put on an amazing Paracon. Jenny, no, we are not going there.
Is that like one of those kind of things where like whatever happens stays there?
No. Absolutely not. No, it's one of those things where she just they invited me out to a Paracon out in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And the minute Jenny saw me, she jumped into my arms literally, and there was actually a picture of her in my arms the first time she met me. We had talked on Facebook years prior to this, but it was the first time they actually got me out to an event out there at the First Ward Schoolhouse, which was a great time. I loved it out there. I need to make my way back out there, but I've had the ability and the honor to be able to do Paracons and conventions all over the country. I've done some in Kentucky. I've done some in Virginia City, Nevada, out at the Washoe Club, the Silver Queen Hotel, everything like that. But I've traveled the country. Like I've been to Alcatraz.
That's one place I would love to go to. That's like one of my top.
I've been to some of the most haunted places in the country, and I've been blessed to be able to do that. I've been in the paranormal field for 27 years now. I actually started my paranormal career or paranormal hobby. I wouldn't say a career.
Yeah.
When I was 13 years old.
Yep. That's awesome.
And I'm 40 now. So that's 27 years in the field.
We're about the same age.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was right into it. My first ever investigation was Mansfield Reformatory, which is where they filmed Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Plum Island would be really cool to go to.
Yeah. I've never heard of Plum Island. That's one place I've never. Where's that at, Damien?
Google it. You'll find the folklore on it. It's actually a pretty cool place.
So tell me a little bit about you, like how you started. You say you started about 13 years old, because that's probably pretty much the same time. Maybe about around 12, 13 was probably when I started there. But like, tell me a little bit of history about you and your background, about how you got into the paranormal.
Well, okay, so I'm not going to go out there and say like every other investigator out there. And no offense to anybody out there, I'm not trying to stir the pot or ruffle any feathers or anything. But I got my start. My mother was Wiccan. My father was very big into the paranormal. And we would go out to a Revolutionary War cemetery and we would do gravestone etchings.
Yeah.
And I kind of got hooked on it. And my dad was actually part of the Historical Society for Mansfield Reformatory. When they closed it down in 1995, he joined the Historical Society, which was responsible for coming in and cleaning up the prison after it shut down. So one day my dad was like, hey, I'm going down for a couple hours. Do you want to come with me? So I went down and I was like, yeah, cool. I love, I've always been a big history fan.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, cool. I mean, I could be inside a big empty prison. Yeah, I'm in. So we went down there. We cleaned up for probably about, 6 hours. And I was finding files of people that have been convicted of horse thievery, have been convicted of overconsumption of alcohol, just random things. They actually had full prisoner files.
Yeah.
So I was actually looking through these. And so when we finished up, the people were like, hey, if you want to stay and just kind of investigate, you can stay. And I'm looking at my dad and I'm like, what do they mean investigate? Like what? Huh. And he's like, oh, look for ghosts. And I was like, okay, that's fine. All right. I'm in. And so that was the first night. And I had the absolute shit scared out of me that night.
Wow.
So that was kind of my first experience. But like I said, I'm not going to stir pots or ruffle any feathers by saying, it started when I was a kid and I've always had experiences then. Because you know what? It didn't start when I was a kid because I didn't open myself up to that.
Yeah.
I was like any other kid. I was outside playing until the streetlights came on. I wasn't, doing anything like that. So, but I really do, take appreciation from where my foundation came from, because I started out back in the days of tape recorders and hi-8 cassette video recorders and, baby powder and bells on a doorknob. That's how I started. And seeing 27
that's the best way to
later,
start.
It really is, honestly.
I still use that stuff.
I do too. It's in my case. It's people I pull out a thing of baby powder and like, why? And I was like, oh, you'll see.
You'll see. Especially like when you like drop the strings down and you tape them and stuff like that and see them like move and stuff. I'm like, what are you doing? That seems like more work, but trust me, it works, people.
It works. It definitely works.
It actually works a lot better than most equipment out there. I hate to say that, but no offense, but
old school's the way to go, man. I tell you what. I still I actually still have an audio recorder that's a cassette. That's one of those like mini cassette ones.
Yep.
I don't use it very often because I'm worried about it breaking because it's so old. But I tell you what, I've gotten the best responses on that thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
so,
man.
I mean, I started out shooting pictures in 35 millimeter. So instead of these fancy digital cameras and things like that. But that kind of propelled me into the whole fascination into the paranormal. And from age of 13 until now, I've just dived into different areas and aspects of the paranormal. I've studied Ed and Lorraine Warren. I've studied Hans Holzer. Wow. I've studied, the Rhine Institute down at Duke University. So many different places. And, Nikola Tesla is a big supporter of the paranormal. He believed in the paranormal. That, I mean,
100%.
That's why we still use Tesla coils to this day during investigations. So, I mean, he's one of the highly discounted people of because he wasn't necessarily a founder of the pioneer or a founder of the paranormal, but he did provide some excellent ideas in technology to the area of paranormal. Because as you know, anything that's released, you can adapt it to make it work your way for the paranormal for what you need.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of how I got my start. And I've kind of fallen off a little bit in my older years because I've had some health issues and things like that. And like investigating to me really isn't that big of a thing for me right now because I'm focusing on getting my health back better and things like that. But like, it's still in my heart. It's still something that is who I am. It's what I do.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's really cool stuff. Tell me a little bit about like your favorite haunted place, place to go to, and experiences you've had there.
Oh, all right. So I have physical evidence wise, I would have to say Hillview Manor in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. It's an old nursing home, an old poorhouse. It's actually on video. I was actually helping a good friend of mine, Bob Christopher, and the Ghost Detectives film an episode for their show there. And we were in the boiler room, and I had been to Hillview multiple times prior to me going there to film this episode with them.
Yeah.
So Hillview, as you know, you investigate a location multiple times, the spirits kind of get used to you and kind of get to know you. So there's a point where I was actually down in the basement with Katie Christopher and their cameraman. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I was standing there. We were doing an EVP session, and I heard something come from the right-hand side of me. And I was wearing headphones that, you know, the old school iPhone headphones that, you know, split in the Y, come down.
Yeah.
And this, I didn't have all my beard. It was kind of like neatly shaved.
Yeah.
And I hear something come from the right side of me where the stairs are leading up to the first floor. So you see me turn my head and look that way, and you see the headphone cord kind of like pop out a little bit.
Yeah.
And before I turn my head back, you see the cord actually come right across my neck.
Oh, wow.
Like somebody was like, yep, here you go. And I immediately reached up and like grabbed my neck, and I was like trying to figure out what happened. And I was wearing a necklace at the time that, you know, my St. Michael and my St. Benedict medallions, which I always wear on every investigation I go on. And you could actually see me on video going like one of these, and people out there can laugh if they want to, but this is what an actual investigator does. When something like that happens, you're like,
yeah.
Trying to figure out if it caught anyway or what caused it to happen. And it was a comedic thing, but once I realized there was no way that could have happened, I'm just kind of like, I should probably get out of this area because somebody does not like me.
Yeah.
So, but and then some places that people want to check out, depending on the region of the country you're in. I would definitely suggest Madison Seminary in Madison, Ohio. Adam Kimmel runs Madison Seminary, Indiana State Sanatorium, and Billy Creek Village, as well as Fairfield County Infirmary.
Okay.
He does some great work up there. I've been to Madison over 100 times. That place is just absolutely amazing. Jenny can attest to that. She was just there not too long ago, and she had some really good experiences.
Wow. Would there be an entity that you don't want to bump into at a location?
A crawler. I bumped into one of those once, and that was actually that Waverly Hills Sanatorium. And I watched it. I was walking down with my co-investigator and I. We were walking on the outside of one of like the breezeways. So if anybody that's not familiar with Waverly Hills, you have like a long hallway that's in like kind of a bat wing. That's all outside. And then you have the rooms in the middle, and then you have the interior hallway. So we were walking on like the breezeway area where it was all open to the air. And we were just walking around, no flashlights, nothing like that, just walking down because the moon was bright enough we could kind of see our way.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, probably about 75 feet away from us, we see something crawl up from the side of the building over the railing, onto the floor, up the wall, on the ceiling, and then back out and over again.
Wow.
And I'm like, nope, I'm gone. Nope, I'm good. I'm gonna go change my pants now, and
yeah, I've had some moments like that before where I've almost shit myself. Pretty much.
I've been scratched, I've been pushed, I've been knocked down, I've been trying to be strangled by a rope and headphone cords, and seeing that firsthand, that was the moment I was like, and I need a new pair of pants.
Yep.
Like, I could take the physical aspect of it, but like, yes, Damien, the joint positions, they were like almost shoulders were hunched down, elbows were up. So it's kind of like almost kind of like a spider walk. Like,
yeah.
So reverse Exorcist. So she's doing the crab walk backwards down the stairs. It was pretty much the opposite of that. They were doing like kind of a crab walk, but their head was to the ground instead of up in the air. So, but yes, I could make out features and things like that. And that's why I was kind of like, I'm going to go outside now.
Yeah.
I wasn't about to deal with that mess.
Yeah. If I saw something like that crawl on the wall, I would definitely be like, yep, turn around. I'm going to use the bathroom.
Well, both my co-investigator and I didn't even say a word. We both literally just stopped dead in our tracks.
Yeah.
Didn't say a word for about 15 seconds. Watched this thing happen. And we literally just looked at each other. We're like, yep, it's time to go.
Wow.
And we literally 180, turned around, walked right back out.
That's kind of
I will tell you what, Waverly Hills is one of the most active places I've ever been. And that's it. That's in Louisville, Kentucky. Well, right outside of Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Ernie and Denise Pack, who are part of the Get Haunted family, they used to be volunteers there. They've done an amazing job with that building. And, so thankful for the hard work they put in to preserve that building, because that is one of the most haunted locations.
Oh, yeah. Talking about Ernie Denise, they're one of the people I've had the most crazy experience. They'll tell you about the crazy experiences we had. Actually, seeing a person get lifted off the ground and slammed a couple of times and then dragged across the floor. Ask them about that. They'll tell you all about it. They're witnesses of it also.
If you're talking about Waverly, Damien, we all make it I believe in everybody's free will on what they want to do, but anybody that wants to participate, we do a prayer circle after every investigation. We sage ourselves, we sage our equipment, we sage everything. That way we're protected when we go home. We say something like, we appreciate you communicating with us tonight, but please do not come home with us. You're not allowed to. This is your home. I'm going to my home, so please do not come home with me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anybody that wants to participate in that are more than welcome to. I don't force it, but for my self-protection, I do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what definitely happened to me. That place, well, I don't know if you've been to Brushy Mountain. I
have not, but that's on my bucket list of places to be.
That's one of the most places that I've ever gotten hit by before with anything, like spiritually, attacked. And you can ask like Ernie and Denise, because I had a picture that I took afterwards in my eyes. You can look in my eyes and they were gray. It was the most, and then afterwards I had nightmares of this place. And like it attacked me for a little bit afterwards, because they had to pray over me afterwards. And yeah, it took a big effect, but like this place was like crazy, just the things that happened and we experienced. But yeah, that's one place you have to go to, Brushy Mountain. It's definitely
I've heard some wild things come out of Brushy Mountain.
Oh gosh, it's a pretty intense place. There's some areas that are not, it's not effective, but like there's some areas that are like, wow, it like punches you in the chest like really hard. Ask Ernie and Denise, they'll tell you the whole story.
Okay, so with that being said, do me a favor real quick. Just tell everybody listening a little bit about Brushy Mountain real quick while I run to the restroom real quick.
No way.
If people are not familiar, just go ahead and tell them about it.
If anybody's like really familiar with Brushy Mountain, I'm telling you, it's a very intensive location. It's way up in the mountain. Number one, we almost died going up there because we almost hit a horse. But listen. Oh, it's Banter with Richie B. What's up, buddy? How's it going? Hey, so what's going up with this wrestling going on here? You know, you think you're Hulk Hogan or something. What you gonna do, brother? Yeah, I was watching you, man. I was watching the wrestling moves. It's the wild. Oh yeah, the wild horse. Yeah, we almost died because of that stupid horse. You know, coming back from that place. I'm telling you, that place was so active, man. Even it sent a wild horse after us, man. I don't know. You know, things could happen, but what's up, Damien? How's it going, brother? But yeah, Richie, man, I just want to, promote a little of my good friend Banter, the Richie B and Wojo. Really good people. You want to check them out. Check their podcast at Banter with Richie B and Wojo. Check them out. They're out every Saturday night before us at 6 p.m. Eastern time, but definitely check them out. And
yeah,
check
definitely Wojo and Richie B are good
Yep.
people. They're local to me, so I see them all the time.
Yeah.
They are definitely some really good, gracious and humble individuals. So
Yeah.
definitely go check out their show.
And if you want to check out my last show with them, it was they kind of took over my show, and yeah,
I would never believe that.
a storm hit my area, and my whole Wi-Fi just went off for a bit, and like
They just took it over.
They're like,
jumped
oh,
right
I
in.
guess we're gonna take over on the Animal Podcast.
Now, I will say November 2nd and 3rd, the group I am part of called Warner Paranormal Preservation Society.
Oh,
We
okay.
are
I know
holding-
Warner. Yeah.
Yep, we are holding the second annual Paranormal Expo. We're not calling it a convention. We're not calling it, anything like that because it's an expo.
Yeah.
We will be lucky enough to have Mr. Richie B and Mr. Wojo doing a lecture on Bigfoot.
Oh yeah.
And I believe they're tossing in a little bit of the Bridgewater Triangle into that. But that expo is it's shining the light on the little people.
Yeah.
It is getting the spotlight on the people that don't want to do TV, don't want to, do that kind of stuff. But it's shining a light. We're having anything from UFOlogy to cryptids to witchcraft to we're having workshops where people can build their own, pendulums or dowsing rods. And, I think it's $10 for the day to get in or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely great. And I'm really honored and happy we're going to have Richie B and Wojo with us this year.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, give a little shout out to my Massachusetts people up here. So,
Yep. Heck yeah. I'm definitely going to make it up there. I know hopefully, we were going to do a Rhode Island trip by the end of this year, but with everything going on and stuff like that, things so freaking expensive. It's
dude, it's hard. It's hard. But you know what, Josh, if you ever make your way up here, let me know. I will more than happy to take a day off for you and, come hang out with you. We'll have lunch and we'll go check out some spots up here.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I miss it. Dude, there was actually a location that I was at, my cousin brought me up in Rhode Island. It was a fort, but dude, the energy there was
Fort
crazy.
Wetherall.
It was in Jamestown.
Yep, Fort Wetherall.
Yep. That place. That's where I also got poison ivy too. Thanks to my
I
cousin.
actually channeled there
Oh wow.
to the point my wife literally had to pull me off the property
Wow.
because it is a big property.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah. You could get lost in that place.
Yeah, you kind of have to walk a bit to get to the fort actually.
Yeah.
But I was standing in one of the where one of the mounted cannon regiments used to be.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a mounted cannon. It was actually a prison cage that was there for
Yep.
public, whatever. And I walked inside this thing and I just kind of snapped into it. And my wife's like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I wasn't even paying attention to her. She's like, "Okay, it's time to go."
Yeah.
But I want to make my way back down there because it's
Oh,
right on the
yeah.
cliff side of the ocean.
Yeah. It's beautiful there.
Oh,
It's
absolutely
very
beautiful.
It's funny because when I went in there was a lot of pentagrams. There was sacrifices of chicken bones and all that stuff.
Yep.
I got a video of me and my cousin going into this one room where it was weird. There was mist everywhere, and in the video, I think you could hear this like a growl in the video. I gotta look it up and share with you, but freaky as hell. But like my cousin said, he was like having issues after and stuff like that, and it's.
Now I will tell anybody out there, Fort Wetherall, Fort Revere up here in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, respectively, as well as multiple abandoned locations all over the country.
Yeah.
Please take in mind that a lot of homeless and transients call these places home. So you never know what you're stumbling into. So always be very careful walking into these locations.
A lot of druggies too, because when I was there, there was a lot of druggies there.
There's a lot of needles laying around. There's
be careful.
Yes. So
poison ivy too.
For that.
That too.
I think that's the least of your worries at this point.
I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, I get poison ivy while I was there. I was like, I'm always out in the woods. And the one time I'm up in my hometown, like trying to do some ghost hunting with my family. It's like
a little itching has nothing to do with an addiction. So consider yourself lucky.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that place is.
All right. So you know what? I'm going to flip the script on you here real quick.
Yeah, no worries.
Because you know what? I'm used to being the host and everything like that, but this interview is going great, and I love the questions you've been asking me and everything.
Yeah.
But let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What are your top 5 places you want to go to investigate? No expenses. You can go anywhere in the world, no restrictions. Where would they be?
I would say Transylvania.
Okay.
Transylvania is like my top one.
Yes, Damien, I did hijack.
Yeah,
I can't help it, damn it.
I'm used to that. Banter did it last week. It's okay. No, it's cool, man. No, this is what it's all about. It's family, man. We all share.
Of course.
And
feel free to steal this question for your guests in a future date.
No, Transylvania is definitely a place that like a top one. Alcatraz is one. I still never been to Waverly. I've been near it. Because of Ernie's house was like right down the Ernie and Denise's house.
Yep.
By the way, where the hell are they? They should be over here and listening.
They should be here. They're doing an event tonight.
The event tonight. My underwear.
Mr. Rob Stakowitz is down there tonight too.
Frickin' Banter, his underwear drawer.
Richie, I know you're sitting there in your underwear because I already saw your post about how you were doing the show with no pants on. So,
dude, yeah, he's already like pantless and stuff like that. Already trying to think he's so cool.
No short Saturday. That's what he calls it.
I guarantee he's probably like taking a pillow or something, pretending he's a wrestler. He's like, that shit's haunted.
I'm assuming your underwear drawer is haunted. So,
it probably has some skeletons in there too.
There's probably some scary shit in there.
No pun intended.
Right. All right. So you got 3 now. You got Transylvania, you got Waverly, you got Alcatraz.
I would say what's that? There's that one in Ohio that I can't remember what it's called.
Now you're talking to an Ohio boy here, so
I know
you describe it, I can probably name it.
I can't remember the owner's name too. He's on Facebook. He does a whole bunch of stuff for the community, and I'm trying to think of his name.
House of Wills?
No, I don't think that's it. No, can't think of his name. Yeah, I just had a blank. That's
Madison Seminary.
Adam Kimmel. I think Kimmel, is that his name?
Yep, Adam Kimmel.
Yep. Yeah, I know.
Yep, so he actually has 2 locations in Ohio. One's Madison Seminary, one's Fairfield County.
Yeah, I'd like to do both of those.
Madison is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I heard a lot of good stuff about that place.
All right, so there's your 4th. Where are you going with your 5th? Come on, I mean, no restrictions. You can get it anywhere.
I would say in a dark castle somewhere internationally other than Transylvania. Probably like a castle that's fallen apart, that's like really creepy, that makes you shit yourself 10 times.
Sounds like you're writing a horror novel and describing where you want to go.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, you could say Edinburgh Castle. You could say Let Castle. You could say, the Towers of England.
Yeah. Towers of England. Ohio fans of Full Speed. What was he saying?
He's cooling off. That's why.
I know. I'm lost. He's like going off. That shit's haunted. Ohio State. Birthplace.
I'm assuming.
Yeah. Jack the Ripper.
London.
Yep. I forgot about that. Yep.
Now, here's a question, Damien. You're on the other side of the pond over there. What do you think of the idea of Jack the Ripper was actually an American that was just back and forth? Because there is the theory that H.H. Holmes was actually considered Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
And there are documents that kind of match his travel. The
Knights
Castle,
Templar.
the Knights
Yep.
Templar. Okay,
Captain
yeah.
France. Yep, that's a good place, Banzer. Yeah.
See, my picks are kind of controversial, and I've actually had some blowback from them. It's okay. So I'll start off small. I'll start off with the easy ones. Of course, Catacombs in France.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that.
I want to do the ancient Ram's Head Inn in I believe that's not. I believe it's Ireland. But I want to do that one. I want to do Lep Castle. And then the two controversial ones that I have are I want to do Chernobyl.
Oh, okay, yeah, Chernobyl.
And the one I get the biggest blowback from is I want to go just for historical aspects, not even for the paranormal, for historical aspects. And I swear to you on my life, because I just want to be able to tell the stories.
Yeah.
Auschwitz.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of people are like, that's a terrible choice. That's their final resting place. That is a site of such horrendous actions. But our job as paranormal investigators are going and being able to tell their story.
Yeah.
So
That's
imagine the EVPs you can get from a place like Auschwitz or Chernobyl.
Oh, yeah.
Those last minutes.
Can you even still get into Chernobyl, though?
Yes, you can. They actually do tours. Not right now, because it is actually occupied by Russian forces.
Yeah.
Because it was overtaken during this whole Russia-Ukraine thing.
Yeah.
So you cannot get in there right now. Actually, you probably could, but it's probably very unsafe.
Pompeii's a good one, too. That's another one.
What is that?
Pompeii.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would. Oh, yeah. Pompeii would be.
Oh,
you know, I've heard the Great Pyramids of Giza. Tutankhamun's tomb.
Yep.
You know, there have been some great ones. Yes, I would go to the
Forest.
Suicide Forest.
Yeah.
I would go to the
That's one place I want to visit.
I would go to the Suicide Forest and set up a tent and just sit there and just listen. Like literally, I would lay there at night, door wide open, and just listen.
Wow.
Because the amount of things you would probably hear would be insane.
Screams.
Because I don't think they have a accurate tally of how many people have actually lost their lives in that place.
Yeah.
So I mean that is definitely, because it goes anywhere from hanging to, self-mutilation or anything like that over there. It's just it's a remote area where people just go to be forgotten. Yeah.
And just the experience there, probably just the feeling and the emotions there. It probably is very heartbreaking. Just the people.
Well, see, that's the same way I feel when I drive into Gettysburg. It's one of those things where when I drive in there, it has never changed. Every year, this will be my 8th year going.
Yeah.
And when you hit that border going from one city into Gettysburg, you just feel that energy shift. Like, I don't even have to see a sign to know I'm in Gettysburg. I just feel it. I know I'm there. Because you just see the battlefields and all the wooden picket fences and things like that. And you know you're there because you can feel it in your heart. You can feel the emotion of it. And that may just be me, but I've talked to multiple people that have said the same thing. Damien, I do not. The event that I do go to, the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, it changes dates. It's been in July for the last 3 years, but it depends on the dates and everything. But the Bash actually has people coming from the UK, from California, from Texas, from all over the country and across the world coming in. We have people from Canada coming in. So,
I think the spirits could definitely play.
Definitely, 100%. 100%, especially at a location you've investigated multiple times. They definitely know when you're coming.
Oh yeah, they know it.
Oh, 100%. One, without a doubt in my mind, because it's
Yeah.
happened to me multiple times at locations I've investigated. I help run 2 locations up here in Massachusetts with Warner Paranormal.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'll get kind of an uneasy feeling
Mhm.
before I head to these locations. But once I get there, it's kind of like, oh, welcome home kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but that's because, you know, and I firmly believe that any location that's open to the public where you can come in and do an investigation, these people are coming and unloading attachments and hitchhikers and everything with them. So there's always new spirits and energies introduced to a location from jumping off of somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's something I firmly believe in 100%. When you're talking to a spirit at a location, doesn't mean that spirit is linked to that location itself.
Yeah.
So, and that's just a theory of mine, but it's something I firmly believe in, though.
Wow. That's pretty good. Do you have a spirit that always comes through and connects with you? If so, if there's a heritage linkage?
I had a spirit named Sarah at Madison Seminary in Ohio that would constantly come through to me, like regardless, would constantly come through to me. And I was more of, I think she saw me more as the protective figure because there was on the second floor of Madison Seminary, there was a male figure up there that kind of suppressed anybody from talking. And I stood up to that male figure. I kind of like put him in his place, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Which he did not like. I actually got scratched for it. But I think it made the spirits that were up there kind of feel more comfortable to be able to talk to me because I stood up for them and was like, you can talk to me regardless of what they say. You can talk to me. I will share your message. And the good thing about that is actually months later, after getting to know Sarah's story, I actually passed her over. She actually attached to me and I walked out the doors, and there was actually an EVP of me doing a channeling session up on the second floor. And I was getting things coming through and it started to become very threatening. And I looked at my team member I was with and I was like, we have to go now. And I knew at that moment that Sarah had attached onto me. So I walked out the door and I told my teammate that I was with to keep the recorder running. And the minute I walked through that front door, through the threshold of the building to the exterior, you just hear a woman's voice just go, "Oh, thank you."
Wow.
And then that was it. Like I kind of just came out of it. And, you know, I went and grounded myself. I didn't feel anything extra. And I went back multiple times after that, tried to communicate with Sarah and got nothing.
Wow.
So, I mean, that is one thing I can do. And that's not something I suggest everybody to do. I am a medium and I am an energy healer. But awesome. I actually do end up taking on, if I know I can cross a spirit over and that's what they want, I will end up taking them on.
That's awesome.
And helping them cross.
Yeah.
So, and I do have a team with me that knows how to bring me out of things and deal with me accordingly when I'm doing something like that. And that's the biggest thing, is having people you trust and people you know that can bring you out of a situation.
Man, that's awesome.
Damien, yes, I did feel a lot of emotions, mostly sadness because of being repressed for so long. But the minute I hit that threshold, I was smiling ear to ear. Like I couldn't explain why I was smiling, but it was just a smile. And I think that was the emotion of her coming through, knowing that she was finally free.
Yeah. Well, I know we have a couple of minutes left, but I do want to ask you this before we do go. Have you ever had a spirit that followed you after a haunted location like that and that kept around for a bit?
Let's see here. We got about 4.5 minutes left. I can run down a quick story real quick. I actually do lectures on attachments.
Yeah.
I actually investigated Bobby Mackey's music hall in Bobby Mackey's Music World in Wilder, Kentucky. Long story short, my grandmother, who practically raised me when I was a kid, was in the hospital. She wasn't doing that great. My team had secured Bobby Mackey's, and we were actually on a wait list for over a year to get the location. So we finally secured it. We had the date set. My grandmother was in the hospital, and I was like, I can't go. I had already paid my way, everything like that. I'm like, I can't go. I got to stay here with my grandmother. I don't know what's going to happen. She actually told me, go. You've been waiting there for this so long. I'm going to be here when you get back. Don't worry about it. And I was like, okay, I'll go. When we hit Kentucky, we pulled into the Bobby Mackey's, and I got a phone call from my father. And my father was like, your grandmother just passed away.
Oh, man.
And I was like, I was down in Kentucky. I didn't have my personal car, so it's not like I could jump in the car and leave. And I'm like, I paid this money. I'm going to investigate regardless. I took about an hour to myself to kind of process everything. But any tip to any investigator out there, never go into a location emotionally or mentally compromised.
Yep.
Never, ever, 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 ever do that. I ended up picking up an attachment from Bobby Mackey's. This attachment nearly killed me. I came back from Bobby Mackey's, had my grandmother's funeral. I lost my job. I was getting evicted from my apartment. My wife at the time left me. And I was literally at the point where I was like, there's nothing left. There's nothing left for me. And I reached out to my friends and I was like, this is it. This is the end. Like I'm done. And they all came over and kind of pulled me out of it. I went to an event. This was August, excuse me. August as she passed away. I went to an event in October in Kentucky. And there was a medium there that literally took one look at me and went, you have an attachment on you. And I was like, what the hell's an attachment? I don't know what that is. It took 3 hours and a shaman medical practitioner, 2 mediums, and an energy healer to pull this attachment off me. And you were talking about the picture that they took of you earlier where you said your eyes were gray and everything.
Yep.
Somebody took a picture of me when I had my attachment, and then took a picture of me after the attachment. And I looked 15 years younger after the attachment was removed. The shaman, the poor guy, got physically ill after removing the attachment to the point where I walked outside in the morning to go smoke a cigarette, and the spot that he got physically ill in, the grass was dead.
Wow.
And then after that, when I came back to Ohio, I got 3 job offers. I found a place to live. My wife ended up coming back to me, which probably was a mistake. But I don't count the first one. That was just a trial run. But no, like everything turned around for me.
That's awesome, man.
In that aspect. So yes, I do lectures on attachments just to kind of make the community aware, because they are real things. I mean, it is something that people don't think about. They think about the physical harm that they can have in a location, falling, tripping, whatever. They don't think about the spiritual ramifications of things like that. So that's something I try to bring to light and remind everybody it can happen to anyone. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Crazy, man.
Correct, Damien. I'll bend but not break.
Man of iron, man. That's awesome. Before we start heading out, can you tell people about your podcast show and where they can find you?
Sure. I co-host one podcast on Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Central Time, called Unturned Pages with my co-host Jenny Davis. That is also on the Get Haunted Network, so thank you for the Get Haunted family. Also on Monday evenings, I run a podcast called Compass Curiosities. It is at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, and we have a multitude of different guests from true crime to cryptids to everything in between, small business owners, artists, everything like that. So definitely check them out. Also on the Get Haunted Network. We're just one big Get Haunted family over here. So much love to Rob, Sarah, Courtney, Trevor. You guys are absolutely amazing. Got to give them a shout out to that. They bust their ass and make sure everything is in set for us.
That's awesome, man. Man, it was so good to have you on, man.
I really appreciate it, brother. I
can't wait to hang out. We got to do lunch, have a couple of drinks and stuff like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just have a lot of fun, man.
Make your way up to the Massachusetts area. I'll show you a good time, man.
Oh yeah, I miss my home, but definitely, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining on Animal Podcast Show, and definitely follow Russ Stivers. Also, the banter in Wojo that were on before us. Definitely join
Yes,
them.
definitely
too.
go over and jump on Richie B and Wojo.
And also follow everybody else on the Get Haunted
Yeah.
Network because they're all
Divination
we're
with
just-
Danny, Paranormally Blonde. Follow all of them.
We're just one big happy family that just sit around and just and like Banty says, without his pants, so in their underwear. So yeah, man, just enjoy the show, and we thank you for joining us. Have a good day.
Much love, Josh. Thank you.